Hi, good afternoon. This is the second podcast that we've got for Game of Thrones after the success we had on the first one, and which we found very enjoyable. Today you have your host Shah Mahmood. Beside me you have Dan Dixon.
Hello.
And we also have a person that was at the bottom. We said a lot of things that basically insulted this person, and he's not happy, so he's here today. That's John Udison. Hi, John.
It's a nice intro, but I'd like to call myself manager of the moment. So, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, one game week wonder. And then also in the back, somewhere lurking, is we've got a special guest. That's Richard O'Kane. He's just here for the laughter, and just in case if John and Dan get into a fight, Rock can just jump in and get involved as well.
Always.
The next game, the final game of the week, which is James versus John. An incredible last place, so 9th place versus 10th place with 0 points on the board, 0 wins. This really was a 6-pointer, really meant a lot to both sides. John, with thanks to Arsenal's incredible form of running the duo, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, and also other players as well. It wasn't just Lacazette and Aubameyang. I mean, he had some amazing displays. Holebas as well, with a great display against Spurs. Fantastic, really played like so well, and also Pedro and Sterling as well. So, points all around the board. Played really well, got a really good score. Was close to getting the highest score recorded in the league, but
Giroud on the pitch would have clinched it.
Yeah, Giroud on the pitch would have clinched that. So it doesn't really matter. John was last, and we predicted that he would only win if Arsenal were on form, and that's exactly what happened.
It's not what I remember hearing.
And we're very lucky to have John here as well. I mean, I'll let John kind of sell his team and how happy he got through the weekend.
So in terms of getting happy, well, I always knew it was going to come, so it wasn't much of a surprise for me. But on the back of 3 losses on the trot, I had every manager in the league approaching me saying, you need to make changes to your team. I can offer you this, I can offer you that. But I stuck true. I knew the quality that I had in my team.
Oh, you didn't really stick true because, you made some amazing transfers. You really took advantage of your waivers. You dominated all the waivers. All the waivers that you picked, 6 other players basically asked for them. And, you took advantage. And, that's part of the rules. It's all fair. And, do you think it was more the waivers, or do you think it was the players that you had left from the draft?
So you have made 5 waivers, so it's not as though you're entirely happy with your starting 16.
So the way you say it, it's as though I may have somehow got lucky with waivers, but the way that I see it is that
you've made
no.
Pedro is the waiver of the season.
Managers drop the players because they didn't see belief in these players. And I came in and picked him up. I couldn't tell you who it was that dropped Pedro, but Pedro wasn't.
Mejia dropped him.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But I saw the quality and I picked him up. And look at the points that he scored.
Also, you were bottom of the league. There really wasn't anything else that you could do, and you might as well pick a Chelsea midfielder, right? So there's also there's 2 sides to it.
I think giving away Mata, giving away Mata was the right decision, but a gamble.
Yeah.
Until United settle on their starting 11, I think Pedro for Mata is probably the signing of the season so far.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a great signing. I mean, we're not saying that it was luck or anything like that. You just took great advantage on your waivers, and it's
which you
fantastic.
did in January last year.
Which, in January I did do that. I did take full advantage of the players, and it really got me out of bottom place and beating Binish at the end. So, you're doing the same now, and you're managing to do that early and not too late, which is a great thing to do, where a lot of managers really do hold on to the players that they have. I mean, how do you see it going forward? Do you want to make more changes? Do you feel like, you can see 5 changes has really changed your team and really pushed your team into point scoring players? So do you think you're going to carry on that tradition, or are you going to hold back now and really see where your team goes? I mean, having 2 Bournemouth defenders and is it good going forward?
I think that my team's pretty strong. So as you mentioned, the Bournemouth defenders, they've scored me quite a lot of points over the past few weeks. So last week, week before, Steve Cook put up 14 points alone. So that was tremendous. And yes, I think I will be sticking it out with my team. There is potential for change, so I'm always open to offers, but I think we've got a very strong set of players here.
Yeah.
Not too much rotation.
Even in the Chelsea game, I think it was Nathan Ake had a really good chance, from a corner that was 3 or 4 yards out, and didn't quite connect properly. So I think
that against his old team.
Their set pieces mean that the tall centre backs are a threat. So I don't think they'll keep clean sheets, but I think they'll offer something going forwards.
No, I agree, and again, interesting enough, like you mentioned earlier, you've followed the same formation as Ed. I mean, is there any thought about basically bringing Giroud in and running a 4-3-3 formation, or are you happy with your current formation as it is and being defence heavy?
Well, I'll pick and choose the formation depending on my opposition, depending on for example, Giroud, depending on who Chelsea are up against. You never know whether they might have injuries in their team. Giroud might get a starting place in my team, so it's all open at the moment.
Great. Awesome.
Just on the point of Sterling, I saw Abu send something through to the group around whether it's a feigned injury. Possibly could be, and that would only be a bonus for me if he gets a week off and then comes back strong for the game against Sham next week.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking forward for that one, but I mean, it's going to be a tight game for game week 5. But we'll speak more about game week 5 in the next podcast.
Yeah. So James, he's had a bit of a tough run, been in the bottom. He's always scored a lot of points, but he's been losing in high-scoring matches. So condolences to James, and the best team won. Game week 4.
Very bullish. And I mean, how does James to really turn this around? I mean, he's got no wins, losing, each game, but scoring so like really high, and only just like losing like each round. I mean, I think game week 3 he was in the lead for 2 days, and then on the last game he lost just on the last day, which is just so painful to take, and I'm sure he's
47 points to win most games. So
yeah, pretty much he has the highest average out of anyone in the league. So the fact that he's got the highest average yet bottom of the league really shows what head-to-heads are about. And it's not about the actual team; it's who you're playing and how you're structured against that team. I mean, looking at his players, I mean, he's got a great back line. Pickford, we all saw him in the World Cup and how amazing he played.
Good players don't translate into points. I think this is a lesson learned. I think there's a few teams that have got some big name players that aren't going to translate into points.
Yeah, no, correct, yeah. But then also had Van Dijk and Robertson in there as well. Really suffered on... I mean, Robertson just keeps on performing. Really, what a talent. I mean, you can just see him being up there with Mendy and Alonso by the end of the season. Sakho didn't really do well for Crystal Palace. Bowley again, getting the points for a handball, did well there. But his midfield, I mean, James's midfield really is struggling. Felipe Anderson, Wijnaldum, Fraser didn't really do anything this game week, and Gundogan as well, suffering from Man City's ridiculous arsenal of players and being put on the bench for pretty much most of the game.
So I think he's moved as well in a part of the first transfer.
In a transfer, yeah. So he's no longer with James. So we can see James making changes. He is really trying to really work his team to get that win, to change everything out.